Srebrenica is a small mountain town situated in the east of Bosnia and Herzegovina. A predominantly industrial town, Srebrenica was known for its metal factory, with lead, zinc and gold mines nearby. Its name, loosely translated, means silver mine. In the 1980s, tourism prospered in Srebrenica, offering a unique spa experience in this part of the country. Geographically, Srebrenica lies along the river Drina, separating Bosnia and Herzegovina from neighboring Serbia. Srebrenica made international headlines and came under scrutiny for atrocities committed by the Bosnian Serb army. The strategic objectives of the secessionist Bosnian Serb presidency at the time were to create a borderline which would segregate the Bosnian Serbs from other ethnic communities and to abolish the state border between Bosnia and Serbia. Bosnian Muslims, also known as Bosniaks, densely populated the Drina Valley. They also posed a major obstacle for fulfilling objectives of the Bosnian Serbs.
Koliko ih je već izašlo?
Pa izašlo je oko 3 do 4.
When the Yugoslav army launched a campaign of forcible migration following the outbreak of the war in April 1992, Srebrenica was besieged by Serb paramilitary forces. The United Nations declared the besieged Srebrenica a safe haven in 1993, meaning the town would be under UN protection. At least 400 peacekeepers from the Netherlands, known as Dachpat, were sent to Srebrenica to protect the residents. However, they did little to prevent the town from falling into the hands of the Serb separatists. The Dutch peacekeepers completely neglected the innocent civilians who were caught in the throes of violence. Moreover, they handed over the people who had come to seek refuge in their base in the nearby village of Potocari to their killers. 8,372 Bosnian Muslim men and boys, some age only 10, were killed in July 1995 in Srebrenica. Between the 11th and the 16th of July, mass executions took place in the town and its surroundings, perpetrated by the units of the Bosnian Serb army under the command of General Ratko Mladic. A paramilitary unit from Serbia known as the Scorpions, who were officially part of the Serbian Interior Ministry until 1991, took part in perpetrating the massacre, together with several hundred mercenaries and volunteers from Greece, Ukraine and Russia. It is believed some 15,000 men and boys tried to escape the massacre. They were physically exhausted and malnourished after 3 years of living under siege. Many had decided to walk for 5 days through densely wooded hills in grilling heat. The groups of men and boys faced artillery barrages, ambushes and minefields along the way until they reached the territory controlled by the Bosnian government, some 110 kilometers away from the starting point. The route they had walked became known as the Death March. At least 6,000 men and boys out of 15,000 who had set off from Srebrenica at the time did not make it to safe territory. In the meantime, more than 60 trucks carrying at least 2,000 men and boys who had remained in Srebrenica were taken to several execution sites. They were bound, blindfolded and killed with automatic rifles. Bulldozers then pushed the bodies into mass graves. A few months after the executions, bulldozers dug up the mass graves again and relocated the dead bodies to other mass graves. As decaying corpses would decompose while being relocated, one person's remains ended up in up to 5 different locations. The process of finding and identifying a victim's remains has been hardened due to the process of covering up the traces of crime. Every year, a mass burial is organized in the Potocari Memorial Center near Srebrenica on July the 11th. So far, the remains of 6,241 people have been found, identified and laid to rest. The other 2,131 persons are still missing. In 2004, the Appeal Chamber of the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia in The Hague unanimously ruled that the Srebrenica massacre constituted genocide. 3 years later, the International Court of Justice concurred with this judgment.